Now that we've linked our style sheet to our index page, we're going to add some basic styles to this page that'll set us up for all of our whole portfolio. But first, before I do that, I'm going to make sure I give my HTML document a title. So up in here where you have the title tag, you'll see that it is an untitled document. By typing in a title in here, what this will do is when you are looking at this in a browser, the tab that the browser that you when you open this page, the tab at the top of the browser window will show your title in there. The other thing that the title does is it's meant for like Google bots, or what you would call search engine bots, to find your site a little bit easier. That's one of the first tags it looks for in terms of a Google search when you're searching for a website. So we're not going to do anything too elaborate here, because when we preview this in our browser, we want it to just say up in the top here, like I have in my Firefox window, it has my name and digital portfolio up there. So next we're going to pop into our style sheet. And remember the last time I showed we had this little bubble action up here, up at the top of our document window, where it says source code, and then our style sheet is named portfolio main.css. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of comments to my document. And the first comment is going to show who is designing this page. So I start with a / and an asterisk, and then I like to put in 4 dashes in between my text here because it makes it stand out much better. Much better. Very funny English teacher, right? It makes it stand out better when you're looking down your list of code for different sections of your CSS. If we don't use comments, then it's harder to find certain sections as we go through it, especially when we end up with hundreds of lines of code. Next, we're going to drop down a couple of lines, and we're going to add another comment. And this one is going to indicate that this is our basic page properties, or basic page styles. And these styles are going to be applied to just about every page. And the reason why we do this is so that we don't have to do this for every single page. It just applies to the same. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to clear out all the default margin and padding values. Chrome and Firefox and every other browser out there has some default padding and margin values, and so to make it more predictable for us to create a layout and to place elements into a page, we want to clear those values out so we can have consistency across the board. So to do that, we start off using the asterisk element, and we open up a curly brace and hit the enter return key, and we type in padding, : 0, semicolon, and then margin, : 0, semicolon. So that zeroes everything out, and then we end that style with a right curly brace. Hit the enter return key and then right curly brace. Next, we're going to go ahead and apply some font properties to all of our pages, and we're going to do that by targeting the body tag. The body tag is in every HTML page, and it's the content. It's where all your content goes in that tag. So we're going to target the body tag, and we're going to open up a curly brace here and enter the return key, and we're going to type in font size 85%. So that'll be a little bit more predictable in terms of our font size, and then enter return key, and then our font family. Now you can choose the font family that you prefer. I like, for this, Lucida Grand and Lucida Sans. It is a sans serif font, a little bit more modern. It's in that Verdana category, which is one of my favorites. Helvetica is another one. End that statement with a semicolon, and then enter return key, and then the right curly brace. Okay, now we're going to add a couple more styles here, and one of them we're going to create our first class, and this class is going to be one that we use a lot. It helps with helps with floating issues and kind of creating new sections. It's just a good practice to put in because it makes things go a little bit smoother and consistent in every browser. So we call this class .clear. So all classes start with the period, and then we open up a curly brace and hit the enter return key, and we're going to type in clear both and enter return key, and then margin :0 and then padding :0. So we can apply this class to just about anything, but I tend to apply it to the break tag. I find that that one is pretty useful. We could even apply it to an empty div tag if we prefer, but the break class is a little bit cleaner because it's a self-closing tag. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to make a class for our first header tag, our heading 1 tag, and we're not going to style this heading 1 tag directly. We want to actually just add this class to it, and what we're going to do is we're going to give our robot bots, our browsing or our search engine crawling bots, something else to look for in terms of our website. So we're going to call this .seo for search engine optimization, and we're going to open up a curly brace, and we're going to tell it to margin left -5,000 pixels. We want this thing to just go off the page. We could also do it in another way. Instead of doing margin left, we could say position relative and then left -5,000 pixels. We could do it the same way there. And then we want it to say overflow hidden, just in case for some reason it pops up. We want it to just disappear because it is going off the page there. And then enter return key and then right curly brace. So we're hiding this from view. So the idea here is that the text, the browser still reads it, still reads the text, and it's still a very much part of our site, but you can't see it. You can't see it when we go to preview it, and we'll double check that to make sure when we put it in, and you'll see how this works here in just a sec. So I'm going to hit Control S, Command S, save that, and then I'm going to pop back over to my source code real quick, and I want to go ahead and place that heading 1 tag in for my search engine optimization. So where I'm going to locate the body tag on line 9, on my line 9, and my cursor's right after the body tag there, and I'm going to hit the enter return key, and I'm going to type in a left caret h1 space class and then SEO, and then left caret / to close that statement out. Now I've already written a sentence for this. I've pre-prepared it so you don't have to watch me type it in my piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly grab it from my text edit that I had saved on here, and you can tell that I spelt curriculum wrong, so I'm going to fix that real quick. There we go. So there, grab that sentence, Command C, Control C, and then minimize that. And then I'm just going to pop it in there by pasting it in there. So what you're going to see is it's kind of a repeat of what's in the title, but I've shortened it so it says the Sinks Digital Portfolio, and then it gives a little bit of a description of it. A professional curriculum vitae of who I am and where I want to go, including a resume, roadmap to success, a career plan, and a showcase of my talents. So it's kind of an overview basically of our portfolio. So if in a search engine, if someone were to search Sinks' portfolio or digital portfolios, and mine were to pop up underneath the title, underneath in the Google search, you would see this sentence show up in the search engine, so people can see that and read it real quickly and know what it is. So let's double check to make sure that this came out right. What we should see in our Firefox browser here, if I hit refresh, I haven't closed this. If you closed yours and you're not previewing yet, go back to your Dreamweaver program, and then where you see the little preview world icon there, select down and then select from your browser. So I'm just going to come pop back over to mine right here in Firefox and hit the refresh button. So I shouldn't see that sentence. That sentence should be off the page, and I should still see my title up there. if you see the sentence somewhere, means that you might have missed something key, like the negative symbol before 5,000. Okay, and the reason why I use 5,000 as such a big number, you never know, someone might be using a really large monitor and it could still happen to show up possibly. So we use a really large number there to hopefully avoid that problem. That's going to be it for this tutorial. In the next one, we are going to start working on our header.